Hey, my name is Sarah Harlan, and this is my final reflection for the junior seminar class. The first question is, how would you describe your transition? Easy, challenging, successful? Explain your reasoning for the way you describe your transition. I would say that my transition to main campus was honestly not that rough. I've lived in Newark my whole life, and I actually lived on campus with my boyfriend last year, so I was already familiarized with the campus, and I didn't really have any problems with finding certain buildings or finding my way around. Also, I've been involved with WVUD since my sophomore year, so it's really nice to already have friends and people that I knew on this campus. The next question is, what were your expectations before your transition? To be honest, the Associate in Arts program kind of reminded me of being in high school in the sense of the class sizes and the difficulty of the classes. The class sizes were really similar to the ones that I took in high school, and for my first 2 years of college, I really only took 100 level and 200 level classes, so they weren't like super hard, but I expected my transition to main campus to entail having much bigger classes as well as them getting more difficult. So as a junior, I'm taking mainly like 300 level classes now, and they have gotten a lot harder. And I'm taking 2 lecture classes right now that are upwards of 200 kids. So the biggest class I've ever taken in college before this semester was about like 35 people. So it was definitely like interesting to get used to being in a class with that many kids. The next question was, what surprised you about the transition? As bad as it sounds, I was honestly really surprised to actually be enjoying school. When I was at the Wilmington campus, I kind of felt like isolated and I was frustrated because I didn't really have a major, like know what I wanted to do. But being in the hub of things in Newark makes me feel like a really like involved UD student, and I'm really enjoying feeling motivated and excited about going to school and like trying to get into the communications program because it makes me feel like I'm like working towards something. The next question was, what did you learn about yourself? Like I just said, when I was in the Associate in Arts program, I wasn't very happy. I was kind of just going through the motions to get the degree to move on to main campus. And I was just taking like an array of classes to get my breadth requirements out of the way. But I learned what major that I wanted to get into after talking to my advisor, Tracy Holden, on main campus. So after discovering the communications major, I found that something that I was genuinely like interested in. So instead of just going through the motions, I've really started caring about school and like planning my semesters in advance, and I put a lot of effort into this semester. Um, I also really love the panel of students that we had about the different clubs on campus, and one thing I learned about the clubs and about myself is that I would want to get involved in the Blue Hen Leadership Program as well as SCAPAB. So even though I'm involved in WVUD, SCAPAB seems really interesting because WVUD is very like small scale with its events, but like I feel like SCAPAB throws on really big events, so it'd be interesting to get involved with a club like that. So maybe next semester I'll try to get involved with them. The next question was, what did you learn about main campus? I learned, even though I've lived in Newark my whole life, I've learned how big main campus actually is and all the resources it has to offer. I really enjoyed doing the scavenger hunt at the beginning of this semester, trying to find all the different things on the list and exploring main campus. I also, regarding the resources that UD has to offer, I also really enjoyed the day that we spent at the Career Services Center. I've gone to them before to help get my resume edited because I've never made a resume before this year, so they were really helpful and made my resume the best it could be. And they really helped me build my Handshake profile. So I've applied to a few internships on there and job shadows, so I'm waiting to hear back from a few. But with my resume, hopefully I'll get them. So I also really enjoyed doing the experience reports because they kind of pushed me to try new things and like to go to events that I normally wouldn't have gone to if I didn't have to. But it was honestly really interesting, like learning about the different social and like intellectual events that UD puts on. The next question was, what advice would you give to rising juniors and transitioning to main campus? Um, I would say try to get involved on main campus as you can as soon as you can because it really does make your transition a lot easier. one, you get more familiarized with the campus, and number two, like, you'll make friends if you get involved on main campus in certain clubs. So when you transition to main campus, it does make it a lot easier. Like, when you know people here, and like you could grab coffee or like grab lunch with certain people, and like people who've lived on main campus their first 2 years, they can help you if you have any questions about like where a certain building is or like a certain resource. So I would say get involved as soon as you can. And then the last question was, what do you plan to do differently next semester, and what would you like to continue doing? One thing I plan on doing differently next semester is I plan to work less or find a better paying job so I can work less, so I won't have to work as much and I can focus more on school, because I definitely did push my limits this year with working too much and not really focusing as much on school. Like, even though I did put a lot of effort into this semester, like, I mean, work less so I could have more downtime, because I feel like I was just like going and going and going, which was a bit rough. But I would definitely like to work less and focus more on school and having more time to just relax. One thing I would definitely like to continue to do is to continue being involved in WVUD, because I really like having my radio show, and I've been taking a workout class this semester for a credit, and that's also been really fun. So the spring semester I want to continue taking bond courses, because I don't know, it's just nice to have a reason to go to the gym and like wake up early. So I'm planning on taking a yoga class next semester, but this class has really helped me try to organize my future and focus more on the future rather than focusing on the present. But I'm really thankful for this seminar class and all the things that I've learned.